The Magic Show is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, and check this out. The super sweet Ion deck boxes held closed via a magnet and encased in leather are currently available at StarCityGames.com for only $9.99 each. Or you can grab a full set of 5 for just $44.99. To keep your deck well protected and looking good, pick up your Ion deck box from StarCityGames.com today.
Hello, this is Ed Earl. I'm from Philadelphia 5K and...
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of The Magic Show. This week we're in Memphis catching the sights and sounds of the World Championships, and in the meantime we'll catch up on the Star City Games $5,000 Standard Open in Philadelphia, see the final match complete with interviews and a special song inspired by the banned and restricted list. Let's go!
Let me tell you a little story about the last time I played Mr. Flores, Evan.
Let's hear it.
It was in a PTQ. I think you were X1-1, I was X1. He was playing a mono green Stompy deck. This was extended. And for game 3, I'm on the play. Or no, he's on the play. I was playing Rector. He's on the play. He goes, I keep 2. He goes, go. No land. I go, okay. Draw, go. He goes, Vine Dryad. Wow, 1-3. 1-3 Vine Dryad. And, of course, on turn 5, he plays a 4-drop and crushes me. So, hopefully I'll get some revenge there. Keeping the no-lander on the play.
I'm Jonathan Sakanik. Hey, my name's Corey Mann. I'm playing a Kithkin deck that has red mana only for the red-white Ajani Vengeant. When I went to States and took the deck, I decided, since so many people were playing Toast and like other control decks, like I wanted a Planeswalker really. Like I wanted something that would be good for them. So I put the Unmakes in the sideboard and I put Ajani Vengeant in. It allows me to deny a control player mana. It allows me even in aggro matches to Lightning Helix, gain life, against red deck wins it's very good. It could like 3 for 1,
Sure.
Bring it into play, I kill a creature, gain some life, and then they target it with a burn spell. So yeah, in a bunch of ways it's good.
I played Fairies because it's obviously the best deck. I mean, that's what I got here, of course.
Well, from what I understand, you've been playing it for a long time. Is that right?
Yeah, ever since the beginning, block PTQ season over the summer, I've been playing it. I mean, I don't really see how 2 my decks could beat turn 2 Bitter Blossom. I mean, it seems like the best play.
The big thing with Fae is like their best cards are cast on turn 4. I mean, it might be on my turn, but they need 4 mana up. So I try to get as much damage in and as many creatures as I could, like before turn 4. Mm-hmm. Like, they might have like Thoughtseize and play Bitter Blossom, but as long as I could just drop creatures, like a Stalwart, Knight of the Metagrain, a Wizened Sen, a Spectral Procession is great.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's great. It's so much better than their Bitter Blossom.
Yeah.
And that's the hope. The hope is I do a lot before turn 4.
I just try and like blow out with the best game 2. Game 1, I just try and get Bitter Blossom and win off of that.
Yeah.
I really have to keep control over the match once I take control, because I'm going to be behind the whole time until I stabilize. But then if I lose that, I'm going to lose the match. So I just got to make sure that I just keep things in order and at my pace and not his.
In Game 1, Corey wins the roll and begins with a first-turn gold medal Stalwart, revealing a Figure of Destiny. Jonathan simply plays a Mutavault and passes. Chris attacks Jonathan to 18, then plays another gold medal Stalwart, revealing the same Figure of Destiny before playing said Figure of Destiny itself. Jonathan untaps, plays Secluded Glen, revealing Bitter Blossom, and plays the 2-mana enchantment. Corey, meanwhile, plays Windbrisk Heights, pumps his Figure of Destiny, and attacks, dropping Jonathan down to 12. He plays a Burrenton Forge Tender and passes. Jonathan takes his point from Bitter Blossom and passes. Corey attacks with everything as Jonathan activates his Mutavault and blocks with the Fairy Rogue token in the land. After damage resolves, Jonathan is at 7, and Corey reveals an Ajani Vengeant hiding underneath the Windbrisk Heights. He chooses to keep one of Jonathan's lands tapped, plays a Rustic Clocken tapped, and passes. Jonathan goes to 6 from his Bitter Blossom, plays another Mutavault, and passes. Corey attacks and Jonathan plays a Spellstutter Sprite and blocks with the Fairy token and Spellstutter Sprite. After combat, Corey uses Ajani Vengeant's second ability to deal 3 damage to Jonathan and gain 3 life, putting the totals at 3 for Jonathan and 23 for Corey. Corey then pumps his Figure of Destiny, plays a Burrenton Forge Tender, and passes. Jonathan plays a Secluded Glen, revealing another Spellstutter Sprite, activates his Mutavault, and attacks Ajani Vengeant. Corey simply blocks with Burrenton Forge Tender, untaps, and uses Ajani Vengeant's second ability to finish the fairy player off. For their sideboarding, each player performed the following. Jonathan took out 3 Thoughtseize, 1 Vendilion Click, 1 Spellstutter Sprite, 1 Scion of Una, and a Mistbind Click. He put in 1 Terror, 4 Infest, and a Sower of Temptation. Corey took out 3 Burrenton Forge Tender and 1 Ajani Vengeant for 4 Unmake. In Game 2, Jonathan was on the play and kept the following hand: 2 Spellstutter Sprite, a Sower of Temptation, Agony Warp, Sunken Ruins, Mutavault, and Island. Corey keeps a hand of Plains, Rugged Prairie, Wizened Sin, Spectral Procession, 2 Unmake, and Ajani Vengeant. After playing lands on turn 1, Corey kicked things off with a Wizened Sin, which Jonathan responded by playing Spellstutter Sprite at the end of Corey's turn. On Jonathan's turn, he attacks with Spellstutter Sprite, taking Corey to 19. Corey then attacks with Wizened Sin, taking Jonathan down to 18, and plays Spectral Procession. Jonathan plays another Spellstutter Sprite at the end of Corey's turn. Jonathan plays Draw Go and passes the turn. On the following turn, Corey attacks with everything. Jonathan plays Agony Warp, killing Wizened Sin with the -0/-3 ability, and shrinking a Spectral Procession token with the -3/-0 ability. Jonathan double blocks the token that was shrunk in order not to be blown out with a Rustic Clocken, and takes 2 damage from the unblocked tokens, falling to 16. Post-combat, Corey attempts another Wizened Sin, but Jonathan has the Spellstutter Sprite to counter it. On his turn, Jonathan activates Mutavault and attacks with all of his creatures, taking Corey down to 14. Corey untaps and resolves Ajani Vengeant, using its first ability to not let one of Jonathan's Mutavaults untap next turn. Jonathan then activates his other Mutavault and attacks Ajani Vengeant with the team. Corey blocks 2 Spellstutter Sprites with Spirit tokens, allowing 3 damage through to take Ajani Vengeant down to just 1 loyalty counter. Jonathan plays a Bitter Blossom and passes the turn. On his turn, Corey plays his own Mutavault, uses Ajani's first ability to not allow Jonathan's Sunken Ruins to untap, and plays a Cloud Goat Ranger. Jonathan goes to 14 from Bitter Blossom and plays Sower of Temptation, taking Corey's Cloud Goat Ranger. Spellstutter Sprite, meanwhile, attacks Ajani Vengeant down to just 1 counter again. Corey plays Unmake, targeting Sower of Temptation, activates Mutavault, and attacks with everything. Jonathan blocks a token with a token and drops to 10 life. Corey plays Ajani's first ability, not letting Mutavault untap, and passes the turn. Jonathan, meanwhile, goes to 9 from Bitter Blossom, plays Agony Warp on the Cloud Goat Ranger, and activates Mutavault in order to finally destroy the Planeswalker. Corey then activates his own Mutavault and attacks with the team. Jonathan blocks 2 tokens with a Fairy Rogue token and a Spellstutter Sprite, and drops to 7. Corey follows this attack up with yet another Cloud Goat Ranger. Jonathan falls to 6 from Bitter Blossom and plays another Sower of Temptation targeting Cloud Goat Ranger. On Corey's turn, he has the Unmake for the Sower of Temptation, activates his Mutavault, and attacks. Jonathan activates his own Mutavault, trades land for land, token for token, and drops to 4 life. Post-combat, Corey plays Figure of Destiny and activates it once. Jonathan falls to 3 life from Bitter Blossom and passes. Corey attacks with the team on his turn, and Jonathan plays a Scion of Una and activates Mutavault. The animated 3/3 land blocks Clowngo Ranger, Scion of Una blocks a Kithkin Soldier token, the Fairy Rogue blocks the larger of the 2 figures of Destiny, while another figure goes unblocked. Corey upgrades the blocked figure of Destiny, as Jonathan takes 1 damage and falls to just 2 life. After going to a single life for Bitter Blossom, Jonathan concedes the match. Corey Mann is officially your Philadelphia 5K champion.
This is the banned and restricted song. Oh, banned and restricted list you got all way, but telling us which cards are too good to play. Sensei's divine top my games last too long, and skull clap and air the power obviously too strong. I mean, seriously, here to play those cards is ridiculous. Necropotence lets you have too many cards, while gifts ungiven makes winning less hard. Shahrazad was silly and Fallen Star bad, but Chaos Orb should be legal just because it's so rad. I mean, seriously, it's awesome. Mirrodin was broken, the whole damn set. It's just so silly how good artifacts can get. Urge's block was the same, its power level too high. If Tinker resolves, you were so sure to die. Wasn't even a question. Card Gush is great, it's card draw for free, but Ancestral Recall lets you draw 1 to 3. Flash Hulk was good, probably the best, until the great band hammered later to rest. Yeah, it did. Killed it dead. Those Moxes are great, you can play them for free. Turn 1 free mana, hey man, that's broken, you see. Infinite combos can ruin your day, and that's why World Gorger Dragon was taken away. An eternal format's where turn 1 wins rule. Force of will roams to keep magic cool. Lion's Eye Diamond makes Dredge a good deck, but in Vintage its power level had to be checked. Just 1, boys and girls, just 1. Bazaar of Baghdad is a really great land. Too bad you can't fetch it with a foil flooded strand. Stormwind your games, it's the best mechanic ever. Mind's Desire is so good in Legacy, you'll cast it never. That's right, never ever in that place. Whew. Yawgmoth's Will can be a total blowout, and Time Walk is so good that is without doubt. Brainstorm works wonders for finding what you need. So good in Vintage, it's hardly seen. Not anymore, but they said they're going to bring it back. This is my ode to the banned and restricted list. Lots of those cards will surely be missed. This is my tale from me to you. So tell me the truth. Do you like those banned cards too, as much as I do? I mean, seriously, Fallen Star, Chaos Orb, do it.
I always like the fatties.